Remember, we are still in Piaget stages of development, and he explained the 4 stages. And the first stage, we call it the formal operation stage. And I said that formal operation stage have been divided into 3 parts. Part number 1, we call it the hypothetical stage, or we call it the deductive and inductive thinking. The second is reflective thinking, and the third is interproposition logic. So let us start with the hypothetical stage. Adolescent can develop a hypothesis, and then they can systematically deduce or conclude the best solution to the problem. So as a teacher, it's very, very important for you to understand that at the particular stage of adolescent, he or she have ability to decide. He has ability to conclude or to get the solution depending to the problem. So sometimes when you encounter with him or her, you can ask him or her to ask by himself, what do you see? What do you think it is? What do you think it is a good solution for that particular problem? They have their own problem. So before deciding for them the solution of any particular problem, it's better for you to consider them or to know their ability, what they know, their knowledge, or of the particular thing. They can use reason from specific to general back again. They can reflect the solution as it is large, or they can reflect the solution or the problem from its specific, from the smallest to the largest. So they know. Don't decide for them always. Sometimes you may use this we call participatory, so that you can understand their view, their understanding, and the like. They can use scientific method to solve their own problems. So they can apply what they have been taught in the classroom, or what they learned in the books, or they watch in the videos. They can apply in the day-to-day life. So it's very, very important for us to understand. But in other way, the second way, we call it reflective thinking. What is that? The adolescent at this particular point, they have ability to think about thought, to reflect one's own mental process that we call metacognition. That means they can use their ability or their thinking, and they can practice it into day-to-day life. So all this ability they have. So as teachers, it's very, very important to make sure that we allow them to think. You can talk to them, you can share with them, you can ask them, what do you think the advantage of this? What do you think the disadvantage of this? What are you doing? Can you mention the advantage or disadvantage of doing such a thing? Then it can awake them, and it can stimulate them to make sure that they do or they choose the good decision. In this reflective thinking also, they can involve analyzing one's thought and the cognitive strategies objectively to evaluate whether they are appropriate or not. So at this particular of adolescent, their brain is enough to analyze the thought. And that particular thought can help them to evaluate to see the advantage, the disadvantage, what to pick, what not to pick, where to go and not where to go. So we need to make sure they pass even at this particular stage. Another thing in the formal operational stage, we call it interproposition logic. What is that? It is the ability to judge the truth of local or logical relationship. So whatever they did, they can judge it in a positive or in a negative way. Because at that particular moment, their brain is so enough, as I said, to know what to do, the advantage, the disadvantage. Remember, in social, we said that they used to start the romantic relationship. Sometimes they practice sexual. So you can use this idea by asking them logically, what do you think the advantage of sex? Having sex L. What is the disadvantage? Once they understand, then it can make them, or it can act like a protection, I can say. Because once the person understands the disadvantage of it, then it can be like they have to think before they practice. But if you are using the way, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. Oh, my friend, they like the way don't do that. Because what you say, don't do that, my friend, they are going to do so that they can see what's happening after they're doing that. So what they need education. A child or adolescent is able to test empirical truths of a single proposition with a formal operation. Yes, they can practice research by exploring what is going on in the world. They have that particular idea of reasoning. Adolescent or adult is able to test the logical truth that connect the prepositions. So they can understand what is truth. Don't lie to them. Don't lie that to them. Like, what if you want to understand the sexual education, then you can say, what is that? What is there within their skirts, their gowns, their trousers? How to use it properly, when to use it. They have all those knowledge. So it's better for us to make sure that they understand. So after a very, very, very long explanation about this cognitive or intellectual development, can we jump to the emotional development? And you know what? Emotions nowadays, it is a worldwide problem. Why do they say emotional is a worldwide problem? Because in our society, majority of people or majority of society member, they are not receiving this, we call it emotional education. So what is that? Remember, we have already discussed about the physical development, social development, intellectual or cognitive development. Now we are in emotional development. What is that? You know, emotion is like a little bit complex stage because it deals with the feelings. You know, you can't see the feelings of someone. Once I'm here, I'm teaching you, but you cannot see my feelings. What do I feel in my stomach? What do I feel in my legs? You can't see it. It's until I explain it to you. So, a complex state of feelings result in physical and psychological changes that influence thought and the behavior that we call emotion. So you see, there is a physical, there is psychological changes which influence how a person will feel or the feelings of a particular person. So emotion is associated with a psychological phenomena. When we say emotion, we can't hesitate the psychological state. Like, for example, temperament, like personality, like mood, like motivation, the way someone perceive, the way someone take, that we call emotion. That's why we said it is a complex, because someone may smile to you, but he or she is angry to you. And in the society, there is different kind of representing this emotional state. So it is very, very important for us to understand. And remember I said that at this particular point, adolescent now, they can't listen to their family members, their parents, their what. They normally listen to their friends. So they are going to meet with different people, different friends, different what, with different emotional states. So that particular emotional state influence or impact the way they can behave, the way they can act. So emotions play important role. They color our dream. You know, our emotion, they can color our dream. They can influence our memories capacity. They can influence our perceptions. And when disturbed, they significantly contribute our physical disorder. Not physical disorder, physiological disorder. You know, sometimes you can find someone is have legs, have every part of the body, but he or she is impaired physiologically or psychologically. Because of what? Because of emotional states. So if someone failed to regulate his or her emotional, it's very, very dangerous. And in this particular moment, adolescent now, they can have double mind. They can have feel this. After sometimes they can feel this. After this trigger or emotional in the society experience, what in the environment, they can change their state the way they feel. So it's very, very important for us to understand it and for them to understand. Are we going together? Please put an emoji or a message to see that you understand it. So can we see the examples of emotions? Example of emotion is like distress and delight. You can feel it, but we can't see it. We can see it through our actions. Surprise and disgust, fear and anxiety, anger, fight and flight, sadness, happiness, joy, affection, love, jealous, empath, shame, guilt. All those are examples of emotions. So what is your emotions right now? As you are watching me, what do you feel now? Your feelings is define your emotions. So emotional experience is an individual interpretation. When we say emotional experience is an individual interpretation and the evaluation of their emotion states and the behavior. This we call emotional experience. So everyone should learn how to experience, how to express the way he or she feel emotionally. Emotional expression. Remember I said emotional experience is the way an individual interprets and evaluate his or her emotional state. And another terminology in emotional is emotional expression. What is that? Are potentially observable changes in face, voice, body, and the activity which occur as a response to emotional state. Therefore, when someone experiences certain emotions, he or she can express it in different way. Remember, we said that every individual is very unique. There is a thing we call it individual differences. So if we understand that there is individual difference, then it means if someone experience or face a certain issue, he or she can act emotionally different from one person to another person. That's why sometimes kama unaweza ukamkanyaga mtu bahati mbaya, mwingine ukimkanyaga anatoa bonge la tusi, yaani yeye tusi liko hapo mdomoni, lakini mwingine ukimkanyaga ananyamaza kimya. Lakini kuna mwingine ukimkanyaga naye anakukanyaga. Hizo sasa ndo tunasema mtu akikutana na zile emotions ana react tofauti tofauti kulingana na nini? Kulingana na mazingira yake na mahitaji yake na matakwa yake. Sawa sawa jamani? I think you are going together. So, adolescent emotionally experiences. What are the adolescent emotionally experiences? Currently, popular depictions of adolescents and youth use disparate or overwhelmed to others. When they meet or they experience a thing, they can be overwhelmed. Adolescents are reported to experience both negative and positive emotions than adults. That means an adolescent can be positive right now, after 10 minutes, have negative emotions. Though that's why you say, sina moody. Their mood used to change according. Within a very short time, they change mood. Adolescents are more reactive and sensitive to past and future events. So they normally think about their past experiences influence their present, influence their future. They don't have that we say, let it go. No. No, let it go in adolescent. They want to revenge. If it's revenge, let me revenge, then I can feel okay. Romantic relationships are associated with mood swing. among adolescents. So their romantic relationship, they are too driven with their mood. And they have a lot of mood swing. So we need to understand this so that we can know how we can help them. Negative affective depression and shame. By age of 13, a girl show reliably greater frequency of depressive symptoms than boys. There is a lot of depression happening to girls than boys because girls, they experience a lot. Their body changes. At home, they work a lot in many houses, and a lot of experiences which impact them. So negative affect depression and shame. A lot of boys, for example, report feelings of contempt and negative emotions more related to activities and achievement than in interpersonal life. So boys are also more likely to deny having emotion at all. But in this depression and shame, the girls can report increase a salience of shame, guilt, sadness, shyness, and self-directed hostility. So in part of shame, adolescents' vulnerability to shame is attributed to several factors, including body changes. As we discussed in the classroom, that when the body change, some of them, they become very tall, some too short, some very fat, some too thin. That one affect their emotions. They can feel shame, sometimes their sexual feelings and desires, fantasies, they can influence them to feel the shame or depression. So, as I said, this topic is very, very important to understand, because once we want to help them, we need to know what they experience. So, remember, we have been discussed about this social and emotional. We have been social, intellectual, and the emotions. So today I will end up here. And I hope that we are going to meet tomorrow in our Google meeting. So use this 1 hour wisely to learn. If you are not understand, you have your course online. You can go and read in the library. We can chat. We can share each other what you feel. Remember, I told you that even yourself, you are still an adolescent. Remember, I said that boys, they take so longer to end their adolescent. So maybe you are still in. So make sure that you understand what we are discussing here and apply it in our day-to-day life. So see you tomorrow. Bye.